If you guys need any cards, packs, sleeves, anything of that nature, shop on TCG Player using my affiliate link in the description. What's going on, everybody? Today we have a very exciting guest on the channel, first place winner of the HRC2 tournament and captain of the Crow's Nest, Snack. Hello, Snack.
Hello, Carpath and Carpath viewers.
So we're here today to discuss your tournament run here that appears to have been done with Vayu Turbo. So first of all, why did you choose this deck?
So I pretty much don't enjoy playing like any of the best decks in the format.
Except Vayu Turbo, apparently.
Well, I don't particularly love this one either, but
I see.
It's kind of like pick your poison for me, and like this one, it's Hamster Raiko Caius, so like that's what I like. I enjoy that whole package, and this one has it, so I decided to go with it. A lot of people told me that they thought I would be well suited to play this kind of a deck if I really spent some time with it. So yeah, I just kind of loaded it up. Oh, also, another thing that influenced it was actually playing in your Unchained tournament.
Oh, right. You played Vayu in that too, didn't you?
Right. In that one, I just thought, like, okay, everybody can be playing these high rolly decks. Let me just play a deck that can play Oppression. And then I threw, like, the Tsukiyomi stuff in there. And then in that tournament, I was drawing insane. And I was having fun with that. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll bring it. Let's see if I am still lucky. And spoiler alert, I was very lucky.
Yeah, I saw some of those replays, and wow. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the deck list. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time on it because Vayu decks all look alike. Not to be
They do.
a
They
bigot
do.
or anything, but so explain why you're not playing Charge or Necro Gardna.
Okay, so you just mentioned that a lot of the Vayu decks look alike. And the reason mine also looks alike is because I pretty much just stole it from 10 Foot.
Okay.
Or Lord Voldemort, as you call him.
Yeah. He got second
so
in that tournament, by the way, didn't he?
He did. I had to face him 3 times in Top Cut.
And he was frogs every time. I'm sure you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So much fun. In those games, I just had to say, like, especially game 1, I'm just like, you don't have Gores. If you have Gores, you win. But if you don't have, like, I have to pretend you don't. That's just how you have to play against frogs sometimes.
Yeah, that's definitely how that goes.
So yeah, it was largely borrowed from him. That's where I got the Reaper and everything. I just wanted to try out his kind of deck because his is very well suited to like the very long game, very grindy kind of duel, which is the kind of play style that I prefer to have, even though in this tournament I ended up doing like more OTK kind of stuff. But I do think I do like the double hamster just because having bodies on board for Caius, or like you can even make a real armor master with the hamster and Gale, or like a 6 with plague and hamster. I like having that as an option. And also like sometimes if you only have the Raiko, you can be forced to hit the monster because you don't have like an out for it. But like if they run over the hamster and then you bring out the Raiko, you can actually pop the back row with the Raiko, which is what you want to do, and then you have like a follow-up play to get rid of the monster and like stop their aggression. So I do really, really, really love hamster. Yeah. And then for Gardna, I have not played a deck with Gardna in forever, so I just didn't want to start now.
Is this a pure net deck from Voldemort, or did you change anything?
The only thing I changed in the main deck is I'm playing 1 Compulse, and he was playing either 2 Dust, 1 Oppression, or 2 Oppression, 1 Dust, and I just went 1-1-1.
Yeah, that's much more satisfying. Go 1-1-1 there. 2-1 is kind of cursed. Yeah, how was the compulsory? I think this is a pretty interesting card. I've been seeing it in a lot of topping decks.
Compulse was amazing. I drew it a ton, and it was always good. In the first match that I ended up playing, which was actually round 2 of Swiss, because that first round 1 I got it was a no-show. They showed up late, and then they played other rounds, but they didn't show up for round 1. But yeah, round 1 in the main deck, I think I went up against this like plasma skill drain deck. I flipped Raikou, targeted the back row, they chained Skill Drain, and then I chained Compulse on my Raikou to bounce it to my hand to have it resolve.
Did you just say they were playing Plasma and Skill Drain?
They were. They just
That's
really did
so
not
cursed.
they did not. They did not want me to do any monster effects.
No monster.
Yeah, I used it on Raikou a couple times. In finals, 10-foot targeted my back row with Caius while I had the face-up Raikou on field, and I compulsed the Raikou back to my hand, so then I got more mills, and I got to out the Caius. There was another time in winners finals where I was attacking with Armed Wing into a Alias, and he activates Gemini Spark, tripping the Alias, targeting Armed Wing. I saw him that, and then later in the battle step, I compulsed his only monster back to his hand, and that was lethal. So there's all kinds of really cool stuff like that. Something I always felt was lacking from Value decks is I feel like you really, really, really rely on the Raikou and Caius because that's like your only real removal. This like proactive. Obviously, you have Bottomless and Deep Prison, but they're so not opposite of proactive.
Yeah.
And
you have Dad too.
Yeah, Dad works, yeah. But it's like there's so many times where you're relying on draws, and I just wanted more removal that I can choose to use whenever I want to.
I guess some people also play Sorcerer as well, but
yeah, I consider that, but I wanted to be more on the consistent side of things.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I guess, do you want to just, like, go over every round that happened or whatever? Just, like, all the matchups?
One more thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Vanities Dinah thing.
Oh, yeah. This bothered me.
See, like...
This seriously bothered me.
For a long time, I was going, like, picking one or the other, but I do think that they have slightly different uses where Dinah can out an Ab-Zero or can out a Titanial, which are both really, really tricky to out sometimes. And Vanities isn't going to out them once they're already on the board. But Vanities is obviously harder to get rid of, especially against decks like Chrystia, where they have monsters that can hit over Dinah really easily. But also, I just feel like it's hard to support. Like, if you bring in double Vanities, then you have to bring out, like, one or both Caius, which I think, like I said earlier, I think this deck really needs more removal. So I didn't want to do that either, so I just figured I'll bring in the one Vanities, and I might side out one Caius or something like that. And that way I can also bring in the Dinah so that I still have more, like, of these kind of, like, floodgatey monsters.
One thing I've also noticed is a lot of Value decks don't play Fortress Dragon, and I don't know why. But you played it, so...
Yeah, I just, like,
seems pretty good to play that.
In my extra deck, there were a couple times where I missed Red Dragon Archfiend, so I could see cutting it for that. But I think I'm really happy with my extra deck. Actually, I don't think I would change anything really.
There's like 3 Armed Wing in here. Can't you just go 2 Armed Wing? Is that not fine?
I made 3 Armed Wing for an OTK once. So it definitely
That's crazy, actually.
I went Grepher, Armed Wing, and then I had like Burial, and I was able to summon 3 Armed Wing in one turn with the Grepher, and that was 8,000.
Okay, well, yeah, what were we saying? Oh, yeah, what was all the different matchups that you played?
So round 1, I had to buy, essentially.
Yeah.
Which it actually hurt my tiebreakers, but I'll explain how I made it anyway. Round 2, I played against this, like, hero. It was, like, trying to get plasma on field, but it was, like, hero, zombie, plant. So they're using, like, dandy tokens to get plasma on field with, like, a small zombie engine, too.
That's really weird, but cool. I'd like to see that deck, actually.
Yeah. And then round 3, I played against Freya, who ended up topping.
Oh, yeah, they were playing Quick Draw with a Thestalos.
Yeah. And I lost. I was really annoyed. I had some crazy plays in that game. Mind Crush went really well. I brought in Mind Crush because I'm like, okay, if you Quick Draw, I can chain it and, like, you know, pull the Quick Draw out of your hand because of weird Edison rulings.
Yeah, it's very dumb, but you can do that. Did you ever get Thestalos at any point?
I didn't, actually. She might have cited it out. I had a situation come up where I had a Card Trooper. I ran over a hamster. I already had Mind Crush set. I ran over a hamster, and she brought out the Raikou, and I'm like, you know, you have to target this Mind Crush with your Raikou. You're not going to pop the Card Trooper. So I waited for that. So she flips Raiko, targets Mind Crush, and I chained Mind Crush, calling blindly Caius, and I hit 2 Caius out of her hand.
That's
and
legendary.
I was like, okay, channeling Carpath right here. But that was a really cool moment. But I did end up losing that one. There's some really tough situations where, like, specifically with that Mind Crush thing, the Raiko Mills plus the 2 Kais off the Mind Crush made Avarice live. It was like, come on. And then, like, in game 3, I think I had the Solemn Drill War, like the Summon of Drill Warrior, because I could not find any kind of back row.
Yeah.
And then that also fueled Avarice, which drew her into another Quick Draw Dandy combo. Like, she had, in that turn, she used Quick Draw Pitching Dandy twice.
I think Quick Draw's a tough matchup for Vayu, generally, in my opinion.
Right. It's like I couldn't find my oppression, so that made it really rough. And then when I did find Compulse, I like nearly stabilized and found Compulse, and she had Trap Stun for it. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? And actually, you were talking about Trap Stun in that list. I think it's specifically for decks like Vayu that can play Deck Dev.
Oh, okay, it's just to like respond to Deck Dev. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so then after that, I played against a Blackwing deck. Not too much interesting happened. Game 2.
Sounds like Blackwing gameplay to me.
Game 2, they just like went like Bora set 5 or something, and they just like beat me down with Bora for the entire game. But
That's so tragic.
I pulled it out. I think game 1, I actually like top decked BrainCon to win.
That's a Sack Mue moment right there for sure.
Yeah, I was in prime Sack Mue form. Then the round after that, I played against Pana. Pana was playing the Virus Dragons.
Oh no!
But in this, he was playing Virus Frogs, and it was like even worse.
Okay. You could almost see that. That sounds like really painful to play against, though.
Yeah, it was. I actually kept. I think I sided in Dust Tornado against Frogs. I was like, what am I doing? But I was like, I just don't want to get virused. So yeah, that was kind of tough. I think we went to game 3. He had like, was it Curse of Anubis or End of Anubis?
The one that I think it's got to be End of Anubis or Curse of Anubis. I think Curse of Anubis is the good one. Maybe I probably just have it mixed up in my head. Actually, I'm not sure.
It's like
the one that stops. It's like a Starlight Road or whatever.
No, it's the one that like
it's not quite
like basically Vanity's Fiend. It's like a 2,500.
Oh wait! You mean the monster? Okay.
Yeah.
It negates everything in the graveyard.
Yeah, it was really rough.
Hold on, we can actually get it on the screen here.
We can.
This is the card that you're thinking of.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I know this card.
Because that's an EEV target and a deck dev target.
That's very funny. It's got a like okay-ish floodgate effect too, even though it's not the greatest.
But Dad bailed me out of that one. I literally typed in, like, I was under deck dev. I typed in chat, like I think what I say, like, I need my dad or something, and I drew it. I just like summoned it to the top of the deck.
Heart of the cards, baby.
So that got me out of that round. That was tough. The round after that, I played against the James Dragon deck that's like takes inspiration from Fitz's Dragon deck.
No, I don't. I've never heard about whatever this cursed dragon deck is. You gotta tell me.
Yeah, so it's basically Fitz's list, but it's playing like way more like high rolly stuff. It's playing like Dad, Caius, Trag. It's like trying to get the dark engine going so you can play Dad, essentially. I guess.
Or not like full on dark dragons, but
Yeah. It's not like the Norlaris build, but yeah, it's like trap dragons, but you're playing like flips and a bunch of dark monsters. But having played Fizz Dragons a lot, I knew I could just kind of rush them down, which is what I did.
Good
like
practice.
Before you can get going, because it's actually pretty slow. That deck is like it starts very slow, I think.
Unless you draw few, which Fitz always does, so the weakness is very mitigated.
Right, and this I was playing against Moom here, who has topped a couple things. Usually with DV Hero, I think. There's one turn where he activated Future Fusion, brought back 2 red med, but then the next turn I was already like he was already like down on life points, and I had some board presence. So on my turn, I was just able to make Brio bounce everything and kill him since he had the few on the field, he wasn't able to drop Gores, and I think he did have Gores in his hand. Um, so then I was in the final round of Swiss, round 7 against Kirsch, Hero Beat. And that one was really, really close, but I lost that
That was like the
match.
stun beat
Yeah.
build that
Right.
yeah. They were on double skill drain, double oppression, and like Thunder King.
Yeah, yeah. I never saw the Thunder King.
Yeah, it was
Um,
just a one off.
yeah. So that was a really close one, but I lost that one, and I thought I wasn't going to make it because I thought my tiebreakers would be bad. But fortunately for me, Moom, who I'd beaten in round 6, finished with the same record as me, and I was the only person that went 5-2 that had a win over somebody else who was 5-2. So that being the second tiebreaker gave me, I was able to make it as the 8th seed
God,
into top
Swiss
8.
is so cursed.
Yeah. Um, so then, yeah, top 8 was double elimination. First round, I played against Blackwings, and like that one was a very interesting one. Game 1, I just like, I think I started with like hamster. Or no, I don't know. It was something weird where I knew I was gonna have like a tempo advantage, and I just went like super aggressive, like summoning Caius, targeting his like set value essentially, and I was just like putting on lots of pressure early, and then he like sets 2 back row, and I just said like fuck it, if it's Mirror Force I lose, and summoned Armageddon Knight and just like pushed with 3 monsters into a potential Mirror Force, but he
Sometimes you
didn't
gotta
have
do
it.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I already committed to playing this super aggressively. So I just have to like go the full way and hope you don't have it. Game 2, he had triple Kalut, Dat, and Dust Shoot for me. So that one didn't go so well.
Jesus.
And then,
Triple Colute?
yeah, it was, he used Kalut once, and then he summoned a second Kalut off of Shura.
Imagine you're
And
just
then
like, there's no way he has the third Colute.
I don't think he had brain con. No, no, no. I don't think he did. But yeah, he summons Dad, pops all my stuff, um, including like a card trooper. I had such a huge crack pack play with like Sirocco Brain or something like that. But it didn't matter because he had the third Clute for exact lethal. And then game 3 of that one, I actually had a really, really slow hand. It was like Vayu, double Caius, and then just like Mystical Space Typhoon or something. It's like a bunch of like stuff that did nothing. He wasn't putting any cards on board, so I was just like setting Vayu. I drew another Vayu. I set that one next to my other Vayu. I'm like, just please don't draw Shura, right? And then I randomly draw Burial off the top, and I'm like, oh, I suddenly have an OTK
Was
where I
that
could
the triple armed wing one, or?
I tribute Caius over my Vayu, banishing my own set MST, and then I had some like weird thing where I was able to OTK, and he had like brain and a bunch of other stuff. When Blackwing players hold other cards in hand, you kind of get a sense that they have like Kalut, brain, a bunch of stuff like that, and they're just waiting for a moment to use them. So I was just trying to keep all my stuff in a face down defense position until I had a big push.
Okay.
Round after that, I played 10-foot. And in that round, I just kind of blitzed him as fast as my deck could go. Something that came up actually. I know that Masha Rose, she topped a recent event with Vayu. She was playing only the 2 Sirocco, but something that came up for me over and over in this tournament was actually special summoning Greffer with Sirocco and then like pitching something else. And that gave my deck a lot of speed. So I think it might have been in the first match against 10-foot. If not, it was in grand finals. But at least once I specialed Greffer and then like pitched a bunch of stuff, summoned Armed Wing, and then tributed over the Greffer with Vanities. So
I've seen most people are playing 3 these days.
Yeah.
They used to play 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it used to be 2 because it makes it a little bit less bricky, but I just happened to always draw them with Greffer, so I got lucky like that.
You gotta get good like Snack.
I mean, there were a few times where I didn't have Greffer or where I had Greffer and no Sirocco, but you know.
Yeah.
That's just playing Vayu. I think Vayu is like people conceive of it as being more consistent than it is, but
I think people conceive of everything as being more consistent than it is.
Yeah.
Edison is just a really inconsistent format, pretty much across
Right.
the board.
Yeah. And that's like something that deters me from playing like the best decks. Like something that really annoys me about playing these really, really highly regarded decks is, if I'm sacrificing my soul and not playing decks that I love, then I want them to at least be consistent. So it's very frustrating when they're inconsistent and like I'm like, I could just be playing my other deck if I want to play something inconsistent, but at least in this tournament, I realized that the payoff is like insanely sacky stuff.
Yeah.
um,
What deters me from playing the best decks is the need to be cool. So,
yeah,
there's
true.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of just blitzed 10 foot, like I said, just like completely disrespecting Gores and Fader, just like if you have it, you have it. But this is my game plan. Um, and then so I beat him, played Kirsch again. This time in winners finals. I think I definitely made some misplays in this set, but I was able to hit a torrential when he had was it Absolute Zero and Grand Mole about to clear my field, and I hit a torrential at that moment when he summoned the Grand Mole, and that saved me. Then I played 10 foot again. I lost the first time. It was like really rough. There's a game where I opened all 3 rug, and I just drew like all traps and like nothing to stop. I just got beat down by heroes for most of the game. And then, yeah, I think in grand finals, I just did another thing where I summoned Dad again. I just like typed in chat "Father Time" and there he came.
Didn't you do it twice in grand finals, or was that a different one?
Well, it was once against Pana and it was once
okay.
against 10 foot. So
That's
only
legendary.
only once to 10 foot.
Man. All right. Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh, are you gonna be going over the replays on your channel or doing something on your channel as well?
Yeah, I think I'll probably do like a tournament highlight video rather than doing like the entire thing.
Okay.
Because it's like I looked at the footage and it's like 40 minutes of footage just fast forwarded on dealing with replays. So I'm like, that would be an enormous video. So I think I'll cut it together as like a highlight video, just like show the good parts. But
all right. Well,
I'll probably do
everyone,
that.
be sure to go check out the Crow's Nest channel and look out for that video. Thank you, Snack, for coming on and doing this interview. It's been great having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And the Crows are on fire this year, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. We're killing it. All right. That's all we got for today, everyone. Peace out. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.